Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how dealerships have flip-flopped with their pricing and how they're pretending like they're doing the right thing. And so with that being said, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And well, let's get into the topic. So if you guys have been living under a rock over the last couple of years, then you probably don't know that dealerships have been making crazy profits because they've been able to charge obscene amounts of money for cars over the last couple of years because of all of the issues we've had with manufacturing. Basically, if we just kind of like condense everything down, we had tons of manufacturing issues because we've had a labor shortage, and on top of that, we've had supply chain issues. And so between the struggle with getting supplies and with getting people to put those supplies together into cars, we've had a massive car shortage. And so that means that the whole supply and demand dynamic has been flip-flopped over the last couple of years. And so people are paying crazy amounts for used and for new cars as well. A lot of used cars that are like 2-3 years old have been selling for over what they were brand new, and new cars are selling for significantly over MSRP as well. And that obviously has started to slow down over the last few months by a substantial margin. A vehicle that I've used as an example in the past that I like to use is the Mercedes G-Wagon. At the beginning of the year, a G63 G-Wagon was a $300,000 car, whereas now it's like a $200,000 car for the exact same vehicle. And so the price has literally just been like slashed by a third of what it was prior. And it seems like it's continuing to go down, right? It was selling for so much over MSRP that just wasn't sustainable. And that's what's happening with other vehicles. Now, how this relates to dealerships is pretty interesting. So there was obviously a ton of different dealerships that were taking advantage of the situation by charging massive price premiums over MSRP on their vehicles. And now they're not able to get those price premiums. And so what have they done? They've basically had to lower down their prices to MSRP and sometimes even under MSRP. But they're not done at that point. What they've been doing to try to make themselves look better than they actually are is they're now like virtue signaling in a way by advertising that they are not charging any sort of markups on their vehicles, that they're giving great deals, and they're almost just trying to like sweep under the rug that they didn't just charge massive premiums over the last couple of years to just tons and tons of customers. And it's very interesting to see. And this is something that I talked about several months ago and even about a year ago, where I said that these prices aren't sustainable, and when they do come down, you're going to see a bunch of dealerships basically go and just flip-flop with their pricing, and they're going to advertise that, oh, they're doing the right thing. Like I talked about this, and now it is actually coming to fruition. And it's kind of funny because there's so many dealers, like even like close to where I live, where they were just charging like insane premiums for vehicles. Like I saw cars going for $20, $30, $40, $50,000 over sticker. And now I see advertisements on like TV and on billboards and everything where they're charging just MSRP, and like they're having like their customers basically post these like posts on their Google page and everything saying, oh yeah, this dealership will only charge MSRP for an order, and I ordered this specialty vehicle from them at MSRP, no markup on it. And so it's kind of funny, but this is a good thing overall for all of us as consumers, because this means that we're going to be able to get better deals on vehicles, right? We're not going to be having to pay crazy amounts over MSRP. Now, there are some vehicles that are still selling for over MSRP. A really good example is like the new Land Rover Defender. Those on average are still selling for quite a bit over MSRP, new and used. I mean, I just saw a used one the other day that was like $30,000 over sticker is what the used price was, which is just crazy. But again, the market on certain vehicles is just still held pretty strong. And so the other thing that's going to happen with this is that people are just going to kind of go back to their prior buying habits. And so I guess the sad part about this situation is all these dealers that actually did the right thing and didn't charge crazy amounts over MSRP are not going to benefit from this decrease in pricing now, because what's basically going to happen is people are going to see that the pricing is now the same between different dealerships. And even though, dealership A might have been charging crazy amounts over sticker, but now they're not, and they're charging the same amount as dealership B that was charging, at MSRP the entire time, they're going to go purchase from dealership A if it's closer to them, or if they can get a vehicle ordered in a little bit sooner than dealership B. And so Yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation all over the place, but I know that there's tons of people that I've seen comment and say that, well, these dealerships are going to pay because pricing is going to come down, and then, you know, we're going to save their names and we're not going to buy from them. But in reality, I don't see that happening, frankly. What I see happening, like I said, is just buyers going back and just buying from whoever's closest to them, and, you know, closest to them that has a price that is in line with what other dealerships are sitting at. And so I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below. That's I'm pretty much going to cut things off for today's video, by the way. If you would go and purchase from a dealership that had crazy markups over MSRP but is now selling at the same price as another dealership that never did any markups whatsoever, or if you know, wouldn't do it because you're like, you know what, because you know, screwed customers over in the past, I don't want to work with you whatsoever. It's going to be interesting. And then I guess the other thing that's going to be interesting to see over the next little bit is these people that paid massive price premiums on these cars, when they go in to trade in their car or something, like, and the amount of negative equity that they're going to have is going to be absolutely insane. I mean, again, sorry that we're going off on a side tangent, but anyways, if we look at that G-Wagon example, like, if someone paid $300,000 for a G63 at the beginning of the year, like, think about that, $100,000 just like gone. And obviously, you know, a person that is buying a $300,000 car can probably take a $100,000 hit. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, because it's way too easy to get auto loans, and very big auto loans as well. People that aren't exactly qualified for cars have been able to get auto loans for those, which is kind of another issue with this whole market. But yeah, just think about that. And then if you kind of like scale it down, like, think about someone like a Toyota 4Runner. That's a really great example. I saw Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro selling for $20,000, $30,000 over sticker. Think about someone that's paid $80,000 for that vehicle, and then, you know, now it's an at MSRP vehicle, and, you know, the used ones are going at MSRP, and they're like $30,000 upside down on that. Like, you can't roll that into a new loan. Like, I don't know what people are going to do. It's going to be very interesting to see kind of like the dynamics of how everything transitions now that this is all over. But yeah, anyways, interesting topic. I thought that I would talk about it in today's video because it's just something that I've seen time and time again now with these dealers that I know for sure were charging crazy premiums rather, and now they are no longer charging crazy premiums. And with that being said, I'll see all of you guys in the next video.